Hello everyone, my name is Claudia and today I'm going to talk about the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis. Well, this hypothesis was formulated. Hello everyone, my name is Claudia and today I'm going to talk about the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis. Well, this hypothesis was formulated by Professor Edward Sapir and his students Benjamin Lindworth. Both of them were linguists and they said that language modules the way we perceive the world. And Benjamin Lindworth spent some time with Hopi tribe, and when he was with them, he realized that his language is so different with Hopi's language. And after being investigating grammar and vocabulary, he noticed the difference between both languages. So Worf discovered that his language, that language doesn't have a grammatical expression of time as the European. And the Hopi language express the importance of the act. And the European speakers need to think how to conjugate a verb when they are talking, but Hopi doesn't matter the tense. They need if of proof that affirms what they are talking about, what they are saying. So, for example, Worf explained with worry verb that means he runs, but not in a present time. In the present tense, it would mean run, he ran, I ran, whatever. It's irrelevant. The important thing here is that the speaker and the hearer know that the activity expressed by the verb is a fact. So, a word conclusion was expressed by the use of different verbal systems of European speakers, and Hopi speakers live in different words. I mean, European lives in a world with clocks and calendars, and Hope live in a world with that only give importance to the events. So this hypothesis is divided into versions. We have the strong version, which is called linguistic determinism, and the weak version, which is called linguistic relativism. So the strong version explains that language determines the way we perceive reality. For example, in this version, if we don't have a certain word to describe a moment, a situation, an object, a place, we will be unable to understand that expression in other language. I mean, if you don't have a word, you couldn't understand the concept. But in the other version, the weak version, which is linguistic relativism, it says that language only have an influence in our way of thinking. So for a better comprehension, we're going to see some examples so we can understand better. Uh, well, some years ago, a linguist had to translate the Bible for the African. And he told that in one of Bible's verse was wrote white as snow, but the people couldn't understand. So to help them to understand, he had to change that word, and he put white as goat's milk because in that zone in Africa, there's no television, there's no book, they don't know what is no, so they couldn't get the message of that verse. And These examples refers to linguistic determinism, refers to the strong version. So, a language has different structures. Uh, for example, a lot of structures has grammatical genders like feminine or masculine. For instance, in Spanish, if we have to refer to the son, uh, we are talking about it like a masculine. But in German, the son would be a feminine. So have this an influence in how people think? Well, yeah. If we ask to Spanish speaker and German speakers to describe a bridge, German speakers will use words as fancy, elegant, beautiful, adjectives or words that are usually considered feminine. But the Spanish speakers will use adjectives like strong or long, because then that adjectives are associated with a masculine term. Another example, for another example, we can take the color theory to understand better. So there are languages that have a big classification of colors, but there are others that have the same word for colors like blue or green. Nevertheless, they have a kind of difference between a color and another, but they don't have a word for green or blue. It's the same. And so in this example, a certain level of influence of language, but it doesn't have an implication on the color perception. I mean, the language does not determine the color perception, even they don't have a word for that. So the last example is about original community in Australia. They are the Cook Tyrone community, and what is interesting about them is that they don't use words like left and right, but for everything, whatever, they use the cardinal point. So, like, they could say, there's an ant on the southwest of your leg, or move your glass to the northwest. In fact, speakers of the languages can orient themselves very well. So, thanks for attention. I hope you understood this interesting hypothesis, and that's all. Goodbye.